What is going on, everybody? Rod J back again. Time to take a look at another beer. Today is going to be a look at the Spellbound Unit 11, part of their Sour series. It is Season 7, Episode 1. So this was provided to me by my buddy Scott when I was back in New Jersey. He gave me 3 of these to actually check out. So this is the first of the 3. It is a sour ale done with ginger. Comes in at an ABV of 4.5%. Barrel, they have 19002. Let's go ahead and get this one cracked open and get it into a glass. And this is something I believe you do have to get at the brewery. So for all my friends up there in New Jersey that like to check out the beers, check out Spellbound down in Mount Holly. All right, so into the glass we go. Has like a wine type look to it, like a nice white wine or so. Very light yellowish color. Very nice head that jumps right out with a nice, pretty much just about dead on whiteness to it. We have some nice billowiness to it as well, so see if that laces at all. Get some of that ginger note. Like a nacho type chip or something. Not really had this one before on the note like that. But in my mind, that's kind of what pops up with it. Taste-wise, definitely have a very effervescent feel to the beer. It's got more of a, I said nacho earlier, but it's got a little bit more of a popcornish type quality to it. So I'm not sure if this was actually held a little bit too long. Again, not having a date on a bottle does throw me off there. But I do get a buttery quality about this one. If I'm off on this, definitely let me know, Scott, if you see this here, because it definitely does not feel like it's coming through correctly. But yeah, the big thing that jumps out to me is kind of that popcorn butter type feel to it. So I'm going to go ahead and say this one is actually one that was probably outdated and may have just been either held too long. And I'll have to see how this matches up against the other ones. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and put this to the side. So this is part of the whole thing you do when you go through, when you're testing and tasting different beers. Part of the thing is kind of knowing when you may get something that may not agree with you. It does seem to be the case here with this one. This is going to be Season 7, Episode 2 of the Unit 11 Sour Series. So here is a look there at that bottle. And I'll hold it back here so you can see how big it actually is. This one comes in with an ABV of 7.4. Now this is a port barrel Flanders. The Mucktown is how they have it titled on here. I'm going to go ahead and get this poured into a glass. Nothing else really on it but just the base label. It's a different looking one. This one is definitely a higher ABV as I mentioned. Nice dark color on the beer here. And the head itself kind of a tannish head. Now you're getting a nice smell coming off the aroma on this one here. Definitely pick up that it's a sour without any problem. You get some of those yeast notes you're kind of used to from sour type ales. But kind of what I would look to pick up in thinking of a style like this, definitely has a little bit of an earthiness to it as well. Taste-wise, it's got a nice flavor on the palate to it. A little bit of a dark fruit feel, I would say. Has a nice splash of that flavor in the mouth. Get a sense of the carbonation from the tongue prickling of holding it there as well. Good sour feel coming through. Not overly tart in any way. But you definitely get the feel of it being more for an acquired type palate. A nice feel to it to give it a little bit of kind of that Flanders presence. Got a little bit of a, I want to say like a Belgian type feel with some of the sours from how it tastes here. Kind of a sweetness, but a sweetness that's kind of like something you would get from like a dark fruit. Little bit of a acidity play in there as well. But for something that's a little bit more different, like something like this, it has everything that kind of you would think of as it gets into the Flanders type style. So in that regard, it does hit nicely. This one was definitely in better shape than the first one I actually had. This one is right where it should be. After effect of the flavor really does kick in after halfway down the first glass here. Can really feel that and play in the back of the throat as well. But it's a decent beer for the style. If you haven't had a Flanders type sour, I would definitely say to check that out as well. So many different sours that are out there that provide some good flavor. And this is just one of those when you're thinking of something like a Flanders. I think in my final assessment of it, it's got a little bit of a, I'm thinking of more of like a dark cherry type fruit quality as well in here, as also with the beer itself. An interesting one that does bring the flavor and is very reminiscent and hits on the notes you would expect to have when you think of something like this style. And this is going to be the third beer I take a look at from Spellbound Brewing. It is Unit 11, Season 7, Episode 3. The Lippincott Lambic comes in at 5.1% ABV. Here is a look at the label on this one here. Take a look there. You're not going to hold a head for long, really, so you can see the head is actually not even maybe a quarter of a finger or so. It's got like a golden, almost like a golden copper type tint to it. Like a lighter copper, but not as golden, kind of a dirty type gold. Aroma-wise, it's got a nice fruitiness on it. Picking up like a little bit of a sour apple. Definitely detect the sourness and the tartness of the beer. Getting some of that funkiness in play from the sour from the Brett. Taste-wise. Ooh, this one's really nice. Nice pop of that flavor. It's got a nice acidic undertone to it. And with this type of style, it's okay to kind of have that feel to the beer. Leaves a nice duration of the flavor. Really sits well in the cheeks. Got a little bit of a nice carbonation to it. Big tongue prickling from holding it. A little bit of an astringency. But a decent one as well. So really, of the three, it was really just that first one that had the off flavors really kicking in. And that one kind of got away. But the second one was a nice one. This third one's a nice one. It's got a little bit of a lighter body to it. We talk about lambics. A lot of times they're around that 3% level. This one's at the 5.1. So a little bit bigger than what you would see on some of the other lambics. Not a lot of the fruitiness coming through. You get it there. But like I think of Lindemans, and they have a much more fruit forward type situation than what this offers. But you're definitely picking it up. It's not bad. I mean, it's definitely got a puckering sensation to it with the astringency. And again, that acidic undertone. But with sours, you kind of pick that up with some of these different styles that have taken place. A nice one here as well. But I dig it on this one here. Unit 11, Season 7, Episode 3. And that is the Lambic they did. But thanks for swinging by to check out this video and all three of these beers that I've shared here. Thanks for checking out another video. Look forward to catching up with you guys soon. Keep drinking those good craft beers. Remember, there's always time. Get your beer on. Cheers, everybody.